Yo, let's talk about this May 9th party being thrown for Gerald Prince Miller. One of the most respected, most feared, most certified men to ever walk the New York streets, right? A Supreme Team legend. That ain't just some name drop. It's real. If Prince is coming home or touching the town and he's being honored with a party, that ain't no regular invite. That's a call to the real ones. That's a call to show face and show respect. Now here's where things get interesting. The streets are watching one name heavy right now. Bimmy Antney. See, Bimmy's been in rooms most dudes never dreamed of. Def Jam officers, Murder Inc. circles, ATL industry spots, and at the same time, he got a pass that ties him straight to that Supreme Team DNA. He's a brother to Deb Antney, uncle to Waka Flocka, but back in the days, he was not a music exec. He was in the field, deep in the field. But over the years, some folks been side-eyeing him. Paperwork rumors been floating, whispers of cooperation, the kind of talk that don't go away unless it's addressed head on or proven false. And if you know anything about the game, then you know when your name is tied to Supreme Team and the feds start closing in, everybody gets watched. Everybody gets tested. So now, the question is, will Bimmy show up to Prince's party on May the 9th? Because here's what that date represents. It's not just a celebration, it's a roll call, a temperature check. Who's still solid? Who can still stand in a room with certain men and not flinch? Who's got questions hovering over them? If Bimmy pulls up, daps Prince, stands 10 toes, looks folks in the eye, that says something. That says, I ain't hiding, I ain't ducking, I ain't got no stain that can't be addressed. But if he don't show, then the streets gonna speak. Because silence is a moment like that. Silence in a moment like that, it speaks loud. Loud like a gunshot in church. And I ain't here to call nobody no rat without paperwork in my hand. That ain't how I'm moving right now. But I will say this, when the room is full of wolves and you don't step in, it ain't hard to guess why. Especially when your name already tied up in stories from them Queen's indictments and folks been tiptoeing around your reputation for years. See, what makes it worse, right? Bimmy be moving like a street historian, always in front of the camera, telling stories, giving game, and don't get me wrong, some of that content's valuable, but you can't be a narrator for the streets if the streets ain't sure about you. You can't be writing chapters in the book if people think you closed the cover on some of your own. So here's what I'll say to the viewers. The fans, the real ones tapped in. Watch what happens on May the 9th. If Bimmy don't walk in that room, then maybe, just maybe, the room already spoke on him. If y'all want the truth, you gotta listen between the lines. This ain't YouTube gossip. It's history unfolding right in front of us. See, people gotta understand, in this culture, your name is everything. We come from a world where a man's word and presence go farther than his money or fame. You could be the richest dude in the room, but if your name dirty, you broke in the eyes of the real. And this right here with Bimmy, it ain't just about one man. It's about the code, the honor system that used to keep the streets in check before the cameras, before the clout, before the internet watered everything down. Back then, if you got labeled something foul, you couldn't just upload a video and clear it up. You had to face the people. And that's why May 9th is a test. Not of popularity, but of principle, of presence. Can you be in the same room with men who knew you before the limelight? Men who remember how the story really played out. Ain't no editing in that room. Ain't no jump cuts or scripted podcasts. It's just eyes and energy. Now let me say this too, for the young ones watching, the ones confused about how serious this really is. It ain't just gossip or beef. When someone avoids rooms like this, especially a man with Bimmy's past, it could mean he's already been judged. Not in court, but in conversations, and calls behind closed doors, and those quiet decisions where a man's face stops getting invited and his name don't get mentioned no more. That's what makes it dangerous, because once the people start filling in the blanks for you, it's already too late. So whether Bimmy shows up or not, this is bigger than just May 9th. This is about what happens when the street history you helped write comes back and holds you accountable. Because when the party's over, the smoke clears, everybody's going to remember who stood tall and who stayed home. A man can outrun a rumor and outtalk a camera, but he can't outrun the rooms he's afraid to walk into. Because the streets remember everything.